Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to another video. I'm just going to do a bit of a brief summarization of my time with Deathloop, especially on release day. I did a bit of a stream on it earlier, about 2 hours worth, which you can catch on the channel if you are interested. It'll be on there at the minute. I'm in vertical mode because that's what my streaming camera is, and it's set up so it's nice and easy. So I know I read a lot of reviews. It's got some really good reviews for Deathloop, which is, is fine. I would say, obviously the style is very similar to Dishonored. I only played the first one. There's a bit of a caveat to that. But yeah, you can definitely see the influences, see that it's made by the same studio. I mean, I'm sure you've already know and have heard about all of that. The thing to consider is, especially if you're buying it on PC, it is using Denuvo, I don't know, however you pronounce it, the anti-cheat, anti-piracy, I think it's anti-cheat, but definitely anti-piracy software. Obviously, to stop it from being pirated and whatnot, understandable. I'd want to do the same thing if I'd made a very expensive video game. But yeah, it seems to have some issues. I mean, bearing in mind, I've got an RTX 3080, so about as powerful realistically as you can hope to achieve. And I was really struggling with frame rate at 1080p, not even on ultra, even when I'd knocked it down to very high. When there's a lot going on, it really tanks. There's not really any need for that either, because I don't see how it's struggling that much, like down in the sub 30 at one point. I can't think of any game really, even like Microsoft Flight Sim, you don't get that low, a lot of the time. So yeah, I think that's probably something to consider if you are going to buy it day one. I imagine that once a certain amount of time has gone past, they will patch the Denuvo, I don't know how you pronounce it, but yeah, they will patch that out of it, because obviously it won't be worth them doing it. But for the minute, it's difficult to recommend if you're not like really jazzed on getting it, I would say. I wasn't, but I was interested, and I've not really had a new game to play for quite a while, so it seemed nice to diversify a little bit and try something a little bit that I wouldn't normally play. It is as tedious as I thought it would be. I mean, just in my head, that whole thing of having to go around, kill 8 big bosses, but then it all having to be all in the same run, done at the right time in the right place. That maybe it's not like quite that bad, quite that prescriptive, but yeah, to me that doesn't really fill me with a lot of joy. It's a bit like a roguelite. I'd say it probably is a roguelite, and realistically there's some skills you can carry over with you for a cost. Generally you have to start the game the same, but it does carry on. There's a little bit of a story there. I think they've I don't know if they have, but it seems like definitely some of that storytelling element is taken from Hades, like how that can, or I would say more akin to how that continues on. So there is that side to it, and the story is quite interesting. It's very much that BioShock, Dishonored sort of style, like feel, I guess, in there. And that that might be something that people enjoy more than I do. It's not really something that I spent a whole lot of time with. Like I say, I only really played a bit of Dishonored, the first one, got about halfway-ish through, or a third of the way through, and it wasn't really a game for me. Which you might say, well, why picking up Deathloop then? And that's a fair question, and that's a fair comment, and I don't really have anything to say to that. Like I say, I just wanted something different to play and give something different a try. So, yeah, it's one of those I can recommend if you like Dishonored, but at the minute it's a tough one to recommend in terms of being able to play on computer. I obviously had some issues when Rome Total War came out, and it's very similar to that, actually. A little bit disappointing, really, the fact that it's not as well optimized as it could be. Although I did find it curious, because I saw a few people's preview early access online. I don't know if it's just coincidence, but they all were running the PS5 version, and maybe that's because they're actually aware that the PC version is a bit, So and don't get me wrong, I don't normally verbally advocate for piracy, but if this game is cracked, or hacked and cracked, then it will actually probably, that version will run better than the version you can go and buy off the Steam store. which will be incredibly disappointing. And I would hope at that point, they would drop the support for that. And they pay us so much money for Denuvo as well, but it's honestly, for me, well, it can't be worth the hit. And I think, day one review, miss it unless you really want to get it and you're happy taking the risk and taking the potential that it might not run very well. Luckily for me, it was just the few stutters when you got into real bad fights and whatever. But yeah, clearly there's a lot of overhead that is coming from, I don't know what, whether it is Denuvo or whether there's patches that needs to be made. But like I say, from what I saw on the PlayStation 5, there isn't that issue. I did see something about it, like struggling to maintain the 60 FPS mode. So maybe there's something in the engine there as well that's not as well optimized as it could be. But yeah, just a bit of food for thought there. Like I say, you want to see some of the gameplay, have a look for yourself. Do have a look on the channel. I'd say it got better as I went along. I think it was a lot less noticeable, but yeah, I don't know. Not one I could recommend at the minute. Like I say, that could change. I think if they have all that figured out, then it's definitely something for people who are big fan of those types of games for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, queries, questions, etc., let me know in the comments down below. And I will see you all very soon. Bye for now.